Do you mind just giving me a little tour of what you've done to this beautiful car? I mean, look at this thing. This is unbelievable. Wow.
So this is a 2020 Ford Shelby GT350. It's R, so it's the Ford's track model. I bought it. It's made for the track. So this is one as you can go to the showroom and get it and come and track it.
Oh.
I mean, there's really nothing you have to do to it.
Okay.
So it's the engine, everything's ready to go. So some places require you to have a tow hook, so I had to put that on there. But most of the time, depending on where who you track with, it's not a requisite.
Wow, look at that. That is something else. And
the tires are important, obviously. So getting a tire that is built and rated for track driving is important. These Michelin Cup 2s come with the car, but if somebody was to buy a car or whatever and take it to the track, you'd want a car that you'd want to put on tires that are built for on the track. It makes a huge difference. And then, your brakes, these brakes are huge on this car, but that's another thing is, pay attention to the brakes when you buy a car if you're going to take it to the track. They don't have to be that, but make sure that it does have good brakes that are made to go and repeatedly stop from high speeds over and over and over again.
And how often do you have to change the brake pads and rotors?
Those are still the original pads on the car, and it's had 5 hard track sessions. So
okay.
Probably another 2 sessions or new track days and time for new pads. So,
okay.
So it could last you a year.
Oh, okay.
On, how
so
much
a season, and then I just wanted to get your.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about tires. How long do tires last?
These are about done, and this is like the 5th track day on them. So if you get the really nice track sticky tires, they're not going to last a whole.
So 20-minute sessions?
20-minute sessions, 4 to 5 a day. So go do the math.
Yeah, that seems to be.
This is the 5th track day on this one.
That seems to be. So these tires seem to be these Michelin, and this is the Michelin.
Yeah, these are the Cup 2 tires. This is their stickiest street legal tire. So it's a race tire that did have some tread on it, but it doesn't.
And it's street. It's street legal.
It's a street legal tire.
Would you run that on the street? Or you?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. It's fine to run on the street, but it's really meaningless to run that sticky of a tire on the street. Right?
So I also noticed that you have your own equipment on. You have a driving suit and driving shoes. How important, in your opinion, are the shoes and like?
The driving suit's not important. Not for this. This is because I do other stuff with that you have to have for other classes in real race cars. But shoes make a difference because they're very thin soled, and you're moving from the pedals, brake to gas if it's a manual clutch. So you feel the car more. So
I see.
Not a have to, but you want to have a really light tennis shoe or something like that.
Okay.
But no, so I would recommend if you're going to do track days and stuff, get yourself a shoe that's made for driving, a driving shoe.
Okay, so that's that, and they're probably not.
They're not super expensive.
Super expensive, and they make a difference.
Yeah, they're comfortable.
Yeah. The soles are really thin on those too. Yeah, look at that.
So,
plus,
and they're made to grip the pedals and everything, tread on them and stuff. So.
And they probably look good in the club at night afterwards.
Yeah. Well, they make like Puma makes a really cool track. If you look at hers, that's an everyday shoe that she's got. But that's a driving shoe.
Okay.
But that would look really cool in the club.
Okay, and look at that
style. Yeah.
That is a helmet.
Yeah. So that's something you have to have. Obviously, you have to have. A lot of people think you can just have a motorcycle helmet, but there is a difference. So most places require you to have a car, one that's made for cars. The difference is car helmets are fire retardant, and where motorcycles helmets aren't.
Okay.
Because a motorcycle, if it catches on fire, you're not sitting inside of it, right?
Right.
So most places require that. And then all this is, if you look at my car, I have shoulder harness seat belts. If you have those, most places require you to have a neck restraint. And all this does is keep your head from snapping if you should get in a wreck, and preventing a spinal injury. So that's not a have to unless you have harness. And there are cars nowadays that you buy from the factory that have mounting points for harnesses.
Yeah.
And if you do a lot of track days, you're going to want to, if you look at my car, you're going to want to have the at least a 4-point or 6-point harness, because it holds you into the car so you can just relax and be held in your seat. And then, you can concentrate on driving. You're not trying to hold yourself with your knee against the console and everything like that. You're just buttoned down in the car. So.
Yeah, I remember being obviously strapped in pretty heavily. Yeah,
and not a plug for the company by any means, but this is a Zamp helmet made by Zamp, and very reasonably priced. This is their high-end helmet, and it's still, you can get their car helmet that's not carbon fiber, and this is a $500 helmet, but you can get into a good car helmet from one of those like Product 41 or whatever, who's a big sponsor of this thing, for $150.
Wow.
So but you do need a motorcycle helmet, and then Hooked on Driving actually checks your helmet. This is the first time that's happened. Is they actually check. I have to show them that my helmet is a car helmet and it's got certification, and then they put their sticker on.
Oh, I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed.
They would not let me on the track if I didn't have the proper helmet. So.
Oh, that's great.
So that is important.
Yes.
If you're gonna.
And how does that go into the? Let's look at the. Okay, so, and that goes right into the.
Yeah. So these would just go over the. You had your helmet on. Your goes over the top.
Oh, okay, right over the right.
Like
okay.
And then that holds you down and snap. But these are not required. I mean, there's traditional seat belts.
Right.
But if you're in a really high performance car and you're really serious about this really getting out on the track and going fast, you're gonna want to put in these. And there's a lot of things you can just buy. You don't have to put a roll cage in. I put a roll bar in this one.
That didn't
come with the factory. No, that's put it in, but you
and then
can
you
buy
got the fire
anchor
extinguisher
bars,
in there.
What's that?
You got a fire extinguisher in there.
Fire extinguisher.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
But that's for other events that require that.
Yeah. Right on.
But you don't have to have gloves. I mean, but really, I would say is if you were gonna come on track day, make sure you have a helmet that's has certification, for automobile, and you can't just get a 10-year-old one because they expire. So you can rent them. Hook on Driving actually rents helmets, or so that's the first one I've seen where they actually rent helmets. So you actually don't even have to buy one. But if you are going to do it, they're not super expensive. So helmets a big deal. And then I would say the other thing is the other thing I would get is a nice, comfortable pair of shoes that are made for driving. And because if you're out here, you're probably a driver.